Hi, it's Kim Watson here. Thanks for joining me again for another process video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I put together my page called Together using the February kits from Happy Kit Club. I splattered, as you can see, I splattered some different shades of yellows, limes and greens on my white cardstock background. I prefer to use some kitchen towel. It's super absorbent and it gets rid of any puddles of paint from the splatters or from the water washes that I'm busy with on the 3 and 3 areas of the page. I find that the paper doesn't warp as much if I dry them straight away. And if I find that some of the color intensity has disappeared, then what I tend to do is just go straight over it with another layer of paint, building up the intensity as I go along, rather than making a really wet area, which if I haven't primed the paper, which if you haven't primed the paper, which I didn't do, I was too lazy this time, it makes the paper really wobbly, which is difficult to get straight later on. See here, what I'm doing is I'm just blending with water. I've used 2 shades of lime green and then the aqua on top. Once dry, see, it gives a gorgeous effect. You'll notice I've got some text at the bottom left hand side of the page. I just put that through my trusty old 12 by 12 typewriter. And as I went along, I planned a few spaces in amongst the journaling, and this allowed me to stamp some of the little teeny words, which I carefully placed in between the lines of text. As you can see, it adds a nice pop of color, and it's just something a little fun to jazz up your journaling a little. Gratefully, the words that included in the kit were actually suitable for the way I wrote the journaling, so it not like it doesn't make sense or anything. Here I'm doing my title using the word together, which came part of the crepe paper thickers. Do not hold this against me. You will notice that I spelt the title together wrong. The E went, I don't know, AWOL, and I didn't notice until I had finished the entire page and I was actually processing this video. So you will be glad to see that later on I actually do go back and fix it, in case you think I'm completely nuts. Anyway, here I am building the actual grid design. The nice thing about having all these, the ephemera and the bits, die cuts, what have you, having straight edges means that I can just follow the natural progression of where the lines meet, and it forms a natural grid as you go along. That's the beauty of a grid design. Keeping it very symmetrical meant that I didn't have to actually be too intentional in terms of what I put next to each other, because the colors that were very similar, being blues or natural or lime or the green teal color, it meant that regardless of how I actually layered them, they would work together. These tiny little puffy stickers, again, I pulled out the blues and the green shades, clustered together on top of that little tag. It just brings a little bit of color accent, again bringing out those gorgeous blues which are found elsewhere in the pages. That sticker sheet, of course, is absolutely perfect. It's got sentiments that are so pertinent to what I'm writing, so it didn't actually matter what I stuck down. I chose happy, I think it was. Think happy, be happy, which is perfect in terms of the actual page theme. So I was left with a lovely little cluster on top of that gorgeous tonal butterfly tag. Here you'll notice I'm looking for some places for some gold accenting. Again, enjoying visual triangles, which I believe in my personal belief is that it brings beautiful balance within a page. Even if it's on a subliminal level, you'll notice that there are color triangles within color triangles all around the page. Again, it just helps to cause cohesion when everything's together. Those lovely pebbles alphas with the gorgeous ombre effect go so well together with the green palette that I've selected for this page. Again, it just helps solidify my story, which is about my brother and his lovely fiancée. Here I am just trying to find the perfect embellishment, layering of little hearts. Again, sticking to the color palette of the teal, lime and yellow. There we go. It looks like the overall layout is actually done. I'm trying to find another way to utilize these little stamps, which are so adorable. They have little open circle bullet points, which are super cute. So what I'm doing is stamping them again in the turquoise ink, and stamping them a couple of times, again in a linear fashion. All it does is just add a little bit of twinkle, a little bit of texture onto the page, working within that grid design. So it just adds to the layering effect. Then what I'm doing is just finalizing the little flower cluster. That little yellow puffy sticker, of course, is not exactly perfect in terms of the shade, but it actually doesn't matter. You'll find because it's yellow, it picks up the other yellow accents around the page. That little black sticker just gave me trouble. I did not know what to do with it. I popped it on, I pulled it off. I popped it on, I pulled it off. That little tag from, again, the little stickers were found in the Project Life kit. There was a couple of sheets of them that came together, and of course they worked perfectly. The colors, everything worked perfectly together. I'm trying to reposition the hearts. I feel this innate need to try and use as many embellishments as possible. The Hip Kit Club kits are always so stuffed full of embellishments and accents, and I feel really, really bad if I don't try and use them, which is actually amazing. It means you never have to skimp. You can just embellish yourself into a coma. So I was trying, although I mean I'm not the greatest of like busy embellishers, but I really tried. I was determined to try and find a place for that bow. I just couldn't get it right. This gorgeous stamp was part of the January kit. It's part of Blue Canoe 2. Blue Canoe 2. Golly, I'm all tongue-tied. And the great thing is not only does it have the adjustable dates in the middle, but it has that gorgeous frame around the outside. So it's got the little filigree sections and then a little dotted line. Now, I knew that it wouldn't really work with the page, but I liked the modern date. So I inked it and then just blotted off the excess ink around the edges, leaving just the date stamp, which I stamped without thinking straight over my little texture stamp, which I did before. So now I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I do? So I'm like, oh. So then I thought, now what? Back to my sticker sheets. So what I found was a little green sticker that says Happy Day, and I placed it over the mistake. And what it does is it actually now creates a little grouping of threes together with the little stamped images that I included inside the journaling. So it actually didn't work out so badly. Next I'm going to add my photograph, which I had printed out 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And in keeping with the grid design, what I actually did is I trimmed it down into a tag shape. Because the photograph had quite a lot of white at the top, it worked out perfectly. I punched a hole and then tied it with twine. And tying the twine into a bow, what it did is just added some lovely subtle texture to the top of the page. Even though it's white on white, there's just something about the string that just adds a little texture. I clustered a few little flowers on the top of the tag with a little sentiment. Again, it's just to fill some blank space and to create a nice strong visual triangle of the lime shade. Some darker teal splatters, perfect finishing touches to finish the page off nicely. Thanks for joining me today. Remember to stop by hipkitclub.net and grab some kits for yourself. Bye bye now, until next time.